Doing small, easy things that don't take much effort, that don't even take much thought, or maybe don't even take that much work in general, sometimes feel hard. Like, it feels tough. Like, I know you guys have had those days where getting up to go to the fridge to get a fucking snack felt like pulling teeth, let alone doing things that are actually going to push your life forward on the self-improvement path, the path that I know you guys are on if you clicked on this video, because that's what I make videos about. The YouTube algorithm knows that. If you don't know who I am, my name is Tanner, and that's exactly what I do. I teach excellence, I teach self-improvement, and the reason I'm qualified to do that is because I teach you guys the struggles that I go through daily. Every solution that I come up with, a new problem arises, and I'm able to explain that to you guys through these videos. And today's video in particular is meant to help you understand why easy shit feels so hard and how we can get past that, because that's stupid. You're never going to get anywhere in that state of mind. And I could start by telling you guys it's probably intentional that the elites of the world are programming the world so it's harder for us to do these tasks, and they're frying our dopamine, they're getting us hooked on social media. All that stuff may be true, but is that stuff serving us? Is that a serving belief? Perhaps not. Even though it may be true, it's important to be aware of that. I'm not going to dive much into that because there's no point on hanging up on it. But something you guys can definitely relate to is having goals, having ambitions. You guys who watch my videos, I know you pretty well, and you guys know me pretty well if you've seen my videos before. You like to lift, you like to make cash. We're not wasting time, doing this and that and smoking or drinking. We're not doing any of that. And if we are, we're working on it. But the hard part about that is if we know that's what we're supposed to do as a man, that's what we're programmed to do, is to get better, to improve. Why nowadays does it feel so hard to do that? Why is it like pulling teeth to go try and start my business, to go focus on a book that could perhaps make me some money someday, to watch a YouTube video that's not complete slop? Why is that like pulling teeth? And the answer I have for you, it might not be an all-encompassing answer, but if you do understand this answer, let this click in your head. You might have to watch what I'm about to say 2, 3, 4, 5 times, take some notes. Once you understand this, you can fix that. You understand? Once you understand what I'm going to say, you'll be able to fix it and live normally again. I'm not saying that as somebody who, it's not like I'm saying, oh, you need to do this to make $1 million. I don't have $1 million. Okay. I have money, but I don't have $1 million. I have a good physique, but I'm not a bodybuilder by any means. But what I am qualified to tell you is how to get into the flow of working and being the way you're supposed to be as a man, because I am in that flow. I genuinely do work 11, 12 hours a day. I genuinely do get shit done day in, day out, focus on my business, focus on my lifting, and have my priorities straight. And that's that one single solitary thing that you guys need to understand is quite simple, but the way you apply it is tough. But the thing is simple, and I'm going to tell you right now. The thing you guys need to have more control of is presence. Presence. Being centered within your mind and experiencing the world as it is, and taking those experiences and flipping them into positives. Presence. If I asked you to define what presence is right now, and I gave you 30 seconds, go ahead, give it a shot. Pause the video for a second and write down what you think presence is. Or if you don't have paper, think about it in your head, but it'll help to write it down. Okay? All presence is a continual processing of your environment around you. That's all presence is. And I'm going to give you a real world analogy that's going to extrapolate that logic and show you guys how important presence really is, because I guarantee you don't understand the full scope of how important it is. If you're not getting up and working every single day, if you're not getting up out of bed, and I'm not saying it's awesome, it sucks sometimes, but if you don't have the drive to go do that, it's because you're lacking presence. And here's why. Life is like chess. You've heard all the self-improvement guys, they all say that, but I'm going to explain to you why that's important. Life is like chess, and presence is like examining the board. Every single thing that happens in your life is like your opponent moving the chess piece. I'm not saying everybody's trying to work against you like in chess, but everything that happens influences your environment, and it influences where you're going. Having presence is like examining the board. While you have presence in life, that's when you are examining the board in chess. Now, what happens in chess if your opponent has 3 turns and you're not paying attention to what they're doing? You haven't examined the board, you didn't see where they moved the fucking pieces around, and you don't even remember where you moved your last 2 pieces. What's going to happen to you in that chess game? what's going to happen to you? They're going to take control of your pieces being your mind and your body. A physical microcosm embodiment of your body are the pieces in chess. And the other side's pieces are the world and everything working against you to try to enslave you. Not in the sense of like the Matrix and all that stuff. Sure, that might be happening. But in the sense of mental enslavement. Not being able to think for yourself. Not being able to think for yourself and do things that the world doesn't normally have you do. But if I'm playing chess and I apply presence, I apply examination of the chessboard at all times. I've had presence in the past, so I understand if you move this piece, this is what it means for me. I understand exactly where my pieces are. I understand how to keep my queen safe. I understand how to keep my king guarded. Then guess what? Then when life, changes something or a different thing happens in my environment, I'm ready. Because boom, I already knew 3 steps ahead that I need to move this pawn to protect my knight so my mind and my king does not get threatened. Like if you wake up and scroll every day on social media, if that's what you do, and a lot of people do that because it's rewarding to our dopamine system and that's what it's meant to do. But if you get up and do that every day and they add a new feature to the algorithm, the new feature where you're holding the 2 times button down to watch videos 2 times faster, frying your dopamine system even more. You can't even sit through a 30-second video without it being 2 times. A lot of you people, I just click that shit in your head. You're frying your dopamine system. How are you supposed to focus on a book if you can't even focus on a video that's meant to keep your attention unless it's on 2 times speed? And you didn't even realize because you're not looking at the chessboard. How are you going to read your Bible? How are you going to wake up in the morning and read your Bible if you can't do that? And I understand that pain. I've been there. I've been there. I've fucking been on Instagram watching reels, laughing or getting mad at some political post when I have a business that needs to be run that I'm fucking neglecting and on 2 times speed and swiping it. And I'll realize like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Am I stupid? Am I a kid? Like I'd look at like people around me that are younger in my life with a tablet in their hand and something else on, and this and that in restaurants when I serve, because I'm a server. I still have a job because you guys don't subscribe to me enough. That's a joke. But I do still have a job, and I notice that. I notice kids, like their dopamine system is fried, and I'm like, man, I feel bad for that kid, man. If I was if it was my kid wouldn't have that iPad, but I have the iPad. And it doesn't matter if I do or not if I don't have that presence, because the other shit that happens is going to fuck up my life either way. But what I need and what fixes that pain, I can actually sleep easy when I said, boom, I know what the world was trying to do to me that day. I know that God was trying to teach me a lesson when my microphone wasn't working the first time. And I had to spend 20 minutes updating my drivers when I wanted to just get the YouTube video done. I had a bad lift with a headache. Today I entered the gym with a headache and I left the gym with a pump. Entered the gym with a headache, left the gym with a fucking pump. And got in my car and recorded this video for you because this is what was on my mind during my workout. You guys have to understand how important it is to be present and to understand what the world is throwing at you. Now, I think I've explained the importance of it enough. And if you already clicked off the video, you're really losing the value. Your brain might be really fried, okay? Because now I'm actually going to solve the problem for you guys, okay? And the reason I say that is because I'm rewarding you guys who are still here, because I'm just a dude with I don't know, I have 3,000-4,000 subscribers. I don't even know, something like that, maybe less. And you're watching my video, so you're going to get rewarded right now. To fix the problem, to actually become present, is not something that this video is going to fix. It's not something that's right away, boom, fixed. It's something you have to train, but the way you train it is quite simple. I call it thought awareness, okay? And if you know anything about my content, I talk about something called the 100-day cycle, or just a cycle sometimes. And my belief is, and this is absolutely true, that you can change anything about your life in 100 days. Everything in your life can be changed in 100 days, right? Some things can be a lot faster, but anything in your life could be changed in 100 days. And being aware of your thoughts is like a muscle, okay? So I want you to try this for the first 10 days. You're probably watching, most people watch my videos at night for whatever reason. So starting in the morning, starting tomorrow, today if it's early in the day, you need to consciously be aware of where your brain is going And what's influencing your brain? Two things. What's influencing my brain? Where's my brain going? Do this as many times as it comes back to your mind. Do it. Every time you think of that, do it. Where's this coming from? Where's my brain going? For example, songs that you like, they put you into what's called memory loops. So you might be conscious of this already, maybe not, but when you listen to a song, maybe you found it last July when you were on a boat, right? Every time you listen to that song, you go think about that boat subconsciously. A lot of times you don't even realize it unless you apply this method, right? Or as soon as you clock in at work, maybe you remember, last time when you clocked in, maybe you're a server, you got sat 3 times right away and you were stressed. It's a memory loop, right? And you get stuck in memory loops. Once you become aware of the things that influence your thoughts and where your brain takes them, first of all, you're going to be more guarded in what influences your thoughts. It's like building a wall. It's like building a moat around your castle. And then changing where your thoughts go is like making the castle bigger, right? So you're building the moat and guard around your castle, and then you're expanding upon that castle. You understand? And expanding upon that castle is making your thoughts more positive. So maybe if you are listening to a song, right, you say, boom, I'm going to switch to a podcast today because when I hear Alex Hormozy talk about business, I think about business. Or when I hear Tanner talk about mindset and being present, I'm more present. You're welcome. Okay. And then once your moat is built, your castle gets bigger. You build upon your castle by directing your thoughts. Boom. I don't have any bullshit getting into my land. Now, when I think about business, now I think about my offer. Now I think about how I'm going to make money this month. Now I think about a lead that I potentially can get from this follower that I just got. Now I think about how my workout's going to be better. You're building upon that because you're safely guarded, because you're present and you understand what the world is throwing at you, and you're not fazed by it. You're building your castle. Guess what? So when you think about the chess microcosm, your king is guarded. It all makes sense. It's all quite simple. So if I can sum this up for you in 30 seconds, be aware of what the world is throwing at you every second with presence. Increase your presence to make better moves on the chessboard and in life. Understand at all times what thoughts are happening and where your thoughts are leading you to, and constantly grow, constantly compound on that. Build the momentum of that sentiment at all times. Do that for 100 days. Do that for 10 days. You're going to notice a difference. Do that for 100 days. Your whole life will be different. Your whole fucking life will be different. If you guys made it to the end of that one, I appreciate it. I make these videos to help you guys. I don't have anything to sell. Someday I will. Someday, I'm not doing this for free, obviously, but right now I'm literally just trying to build some value for you guys. If you guys like this video, subscribe, check out my other ones, because I make videos about this shit all day. All I do is think, and all I do is relay the information to you guys. I learn from the best, I relay it, I process it, I give it to you guys. And I have my own unique ways that I understand life too, which really work for me. And if you're anything like me, they'll work for you too. I appreciate it. Go conquer the rest of your day. Hit a lift. Make some money. Do something, okay? Do not be stagnant. Do not get into rest. Get into motion. Thank you guys for watching. Go do something productive. Have a great rest of your day.